Survey says, what survey? Well, a survey was just leaked from Uber talking about the satisfaction of its employees. Let's talk about it. Welcome everyone, Mark here from Uber Hints. This story comes to us actually from Business Insider through USA Today. It did go through a filter, and I kind of looked at both sources, and I'm going to come up with my evaluation, my assessment of this so-called leaked report. And the reason I put leaked in air quotes in my opening is I have a firm belief that people only get things leaked for two reasons. Number one, they're angry at Donald Trump, or number two, they want it to get leaked. And since this has nothing to do with the president, I'm going to assume that Uber wanted this leak to take place because they probably think that it reflects on them positively. But I have a little different take. So the headline reads in the USA Today version, Uber employees are feeling better about their employer and their own work, according to a new leaked employee survey. I'm not convinced, and here is why. This poll, it says, is conducted every 6 months. They respond to 35 questions, and it was gathered, how do I say this? It was composed of the responses of 18,648 Uber employees. So I'm going to look at some of the bullet pointed items. You can make your own assessment, and I'm going to give you my evaluation. So the first one says, I believe that Uber is in a position to succeed over the next 2 years. 83% responded positively, favorably, or said yes to that statement. I don't think that necessarily means that they think they're working for a really good company. It just means they think that based on the business climate right now, the history of the company, the fact that they're going to have their IPO, that they think they're going to be successful. That's all it's saying. I can work for a company that I feel is going to be successful and still not be happy with that company. So we have to make sure that we dig deep. Don't take these questions at face value. Now, don't assume the opposite either. Don't assume that because they say it's positive that what I just said means that, oh yeah, they're grumpy and gripey and they're unhappy, because it could be that those 83% are very happy. All I'm saying is don't jump to conclusions. Now let's look at the next bullet point here. I'm heard by my manager, 73%. I've had managers in my career that I felt I was heard by, but I never felt that either that got to the next level or the next level was listening to my manager. So we have to, again, be really careful that we see exactly what the statement is and how they're responding to it. That also means that 27% feel my manager is not hearing me. A full quarter of the people feel they're not being heard by their manager at that company. Is that good? See, to me, that doesn't bode well. Just because something is a majority doesn't necessarily mean that it's good news. How would you like to say, hey, a quarter of the people in my company don't feel that I'm paying attention or listening to them? Would that feel good? I don't think so. I feel secure about my job, 66%. Notice these numbers are going down. A full 1/3 of the people at that company feel that they are walking a tightrope, that they are on thin ice. How many drivers feel secure about their job? I'd like to hear down below. Give me just a yes or a no. Don't give me a thumbs down to this video if you feel no, because that's not, I want all positives on the video. Uber acts in a socially responsible way, 63%. Again, socially responsible, you can look at that in a lot of ways. I think Uber does a great job of putting on airs. I think they have a good job of putting up that facade that they're socially responsible. But I'm not sure that I believe they really are. They like to pretend that we support the downtrodden and we support our drivers. And you know, a lot of drivers, I'd like to see what the percentage of the drivers are that are minority, at least in the US, because it seems the majority of the drivers I get are minorities. And if they're not supporting the drivers, the majority of the drivers are minorities, are they really supporting the minority population? I don't know. You know, it's kind of tough for me not being from that population base to comment on that. But I know a lot of you are. So how do you feel? If you are people that are in the minority socially, whether that be because of race, religion, national origin, your gender, do you feel that Uber is being socially responsible toward you? I feel the work I'm doing is meaningful and impactful, 63%. I think that as drivers, our numbers would probably be higher than that, because I think that we do an important thing getting people around. I think that's an important function in society. Now, whether we like doing it or not is a different thing, but I think the whole idea of transporting people, it's impactful. How can you deny that? I'm getting people to work, I'm getting people to hospitals, I'm getting people to airports. I would be very surprised if drivers didn't respond in the 90 percentile. I have access to learning and development needed to do my job well, 60%, that surprises me. Why would a company not give you the resources you need to do your job? This is getting lower. Notice how the bar is dropping. We're getting into the low areas now. 40% of the people feel they're not giving the resources to do their job. And I know that a lot of you as drivers feel that way. And the reason I know it is because I hear it. Yeah, Uber doesn't train. They don't provide any training, right? What's your training? You have to go over to Harry Campbell's channel and buy his handbook. That's the training. You have to watch channels, Uber channels, like this one. Now, I don't even do that much training anymore on this channel, but my commentaries and our experiences is really what our training is. Our training is on the job. So while I said the last category, I think drivers would say in the 90 percentile, I think we'd be down in like 10% on this one, because I don't think that we get training. What are your thoughts? Leave it below. I feel excited to come to work every day, 58%. I'm not even going to comment on that one. I see myself working at Uber in 2 years' time, 56%. Nearly half the people feel they're not going to be working for this company in 2 years. Do you know that nearly half of Uber drivers don't make it past 6 months? I'm able to manage my work stress in a healthy way, 56%. Even if offered competitive offer or external career opportunity, I would choose to stay at Uber, 45%. People are saying, give me a better deal, man. I'm out of here. That doesn't surprise me. How about drivers? You notice I'm looking at this from a driver perspective because we're not employees of Uber, right? So if we feel that people that are working internally are this dissatisfied, I would love to see a poll of a significant amount of drivers. When I say significant, this was 18,000. That would be a great number. Significant would be in the scores of drivers, right? 40, 50, 60,000 or more. I would love to see, because I think people would say, yeah, you give me a better job driving that meets these criteria. Sayonara. I believe my total compensation, base, salary, bonuses, benefits, equity is fair relative to similar roles in other company. 40%. 40% feel they're getting fair compensation. And as I said, this talks about everything. Bonuses, salary, benefits. I don't know what their benefits are. Do they have matching 401k? Do they have a lot of paid holidays? Do they have bereavement time? All of that stuff is included in that. Well, we're self-employed. We're independent contractors. So that question wouldn't even be relevant to us. So it says all those positive replies went up from the previous survey. I guess that's good news if it went up. I'm curious if those are the exact same questions, because sometimes the way you word things can change. It can skew the answers. And they may very well want to have skewed answers when they are moving towards an IPO, right? Who wants a bunch of dissatisfied people? Who wants to invest in a company where 55% would be ready to bail on the company if anyone were just to give them the wink and the nod? Man, that doesn't sound good, does it? Some questions posed employees garnered fewer positive responses. See, I don't think those were positive responses. Now they're going to move into some that they feel were fewer positive responses. I don't think when someone responds in the 58 and 56 and 40%, I don't feel that's positive. I don't feel it's positive. So here are some of them. I'm passionate about Uber's mission, 77%. I feel I can report ethical or compliance violations without fear of retaliation. 71% said yes to that. That is interesting to me. That's good, right? That's good if 71% of the people feel, yes, I can report violations. It also says 29%, a third of the people feel they can't. Why did a third of the people, nearly a third of the people, say, no, I don't feel good about this? I've seen positive culture change taking place in the past 6 months, 62%. That's walking the 50-50 flip of a coin, right? It's still up there. You still have 12% on the positive side. So, I don't know. It says Uber did not respond to questions. Well, why would they respond to questions if this is a so-called leaked survey, right? Why would they? So then it just goes on. The story talks about, some of the issues that they've had and that they're getting ready for the IPO. So I'm not gonna bore you with that. I thought that I'll just bore you with the other stuff. I thought that was a very interesting survey. Now I do want to, as I've been doing in a lot of my videos recently, I do want to comment on a few things, including viewer comments. First of all, driving. I made a comment in my last video. I said it wasn't $300, $400, $500 days on New Year's Eve, and you were having $300, $400, $500 days. I was talking about me personally because I only drove 4 hours, right? And I only drove before New Year's Eve. Overall, it was a good night. It was a good night. And a lot of you were telling me, yeah, we were having the $500 nights, the $600 nights, and bravo, it's good for you. A lot of you were also saying that you were having, 12-hour days too. So, but hey, suck it up. You gotta, make hay when the weather, what do they say? Make hay when the sun's shining, right? So, congratulations. I didn't mean to say that people weren't earning that. I made a blanket statement based on my own experience. Unlimited driving under limited conditions, right? But it was still a good day. It was still a good day. All right, here is a comment, and this was in response to going way back when I had that video. I was in Iowa City, Iowa, and I was canceling because I wasn't getting drives fast enough. I was in the position of the rider. This dude is full of it. I love it when people open in a non-contentious way. Uber drivers don't compete for drive requests. They're offered to one driver at a time. His claim that the 2-mile-away driver was quicker on the draw than other drivers is fairy tale. Okay, let's talk to that. How does he know? All we know is what Uber tells us, and I'll tell you what, I wouldn't trust Uber as far as I could throw that company. And that's a big building, so I probably couldn't throw it at all, right? Unless you are privy to their algorithm, we don't know who gets the ping, why they're selected, how many are going out at a time. I did make that statement. I threw that statement out there. And maybe it was an error, but my intent was to say, I want to get a driver that's closer to my proximity. Now, maybe I was wrong to say it was quicker on the draw, but however, I'm not sure it's not. I'm not sure because I don't know who gets the pings and how they go out. I'm not convinced of it. It makes sense. It makes sense. It may go out one at a time, but then I'm curious, why does it, how come I'm getting the guy that's 9 minutes away instead of the 3 and 4 cars that are 30 seconds to 2 minutes away? Are they all getting a ping at that same? I don't know. And see, there's a lot of scenarios that could be happening. And yeah, I'll give this guy his credit. He could be right, but to come in with a contentious opening remark like that, unless you're working for Uber and you know exactly how their algorithm works, we have no idea. We have no idea who's getting the pings, why they're getting them, or when they're getting them. It's dudes like this guy that ruin the process for everyone else. He's also stupid enough not to realize that if drivers do start canceling, as he claims, Uber will not change Uber will change the process and start charging for excessive cancellations. I doubt it. If they do, they do. Fine. People stop canceling. What's the harm? Right? What's the harm? They, just don't cancel. I don't do that routinely. I was giving you an example of why you might get canceled. It could be something that has nothing to do with your driving at all. You could be canceled for a whole bunch of reasons. It could be someone like me that was fishing for a better drive. I was fishing for a better ride, and I got it, by the way. I got it. So it worked in my case. Does that happen routinely? I suspect that it happens. But to say that they're going to start charging, so what? What do I care? Let them charge. I'll just stop canceling. Uber will make more money. Maybe they'll start paying me some of that, right? I would not listen to this, and then he uses a vulgarity, or give anything he says one iota of credibility. So there you go. Well, I hope that you are off to a great 2019. As always, I encourage you to comment down below. Please like and share the videos. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I beg of you to subscribe. Oh, and go to my second channel, Average Me. That channel is growing so slow. I don't even care if you don't watch it. Just go over there and subscribe and come back here. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks, everyone. I'm Mark from Uber Hints.